This is a fodder banner, but it is an incredible fodder banner. There is some nutty stuff in here. Let's get right into it. The first up is Ced, and he kind of follows in the footsteps of his past form. He's even the green infantry tome. We've seen all this before. The art looks great. I do love that. But we have an AoE spammer here, and he's pretty good at it. We have Aired Forsetti. This has slaying as long as unit's HP is greater than 25%. Grants attack speed +6 to unit for 1 turn and grants special cooldown count -1 to unit. So we already have 1 cooldown there. At start of combat, if HP is greater than 25%, grants another attack speed +6 to unit during combat, reduces damage from foes' first attack during combat equals 30%. So we've got kind of that thing that's going around the damage reduction, and deals damage equals X% of unit speed when special triggers. This is going to be a very speedy unit. X equals unit's max cooldown count value times 10 plus 20. So that's going to be fun, honestly. Most of the time you're going to have 4, and that is 40 plus 20, so it's 60% of the unit speed. I mean, if the unit has 40 speed, which he's going to have, well, let's say he has 50 speed. That's going to be an extra 30 damage, and that is on top. Like, that is included in the AoE. This unit is going to hit hard, and AoEs are a big part of the meta right now if you want to counter certain things. There are units that just don't do well against them, mainly anything that's not a dragon. So keep that in mind. I like AoEs. Attack speed ideal 4 is very dated, and I don't know why they have this on here. We have a lot of better things. Special spiral 4, more of that in the pool. Actually, this is the first time we'll be in the pool. No, second, with Citrine. That's very good though. Love that. Infantry Pulse 4. At start of turn, if unit special cooldown count is at its max value, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit. So we've got times pulse. At start of turn, if any infantry ally's special cooldown count is at its maximum value, and that ally's max HP is less than unit's max HP, grants special cooldown count -1 to that ally. That's times pulse for everyone else. So this is very similar to what we saw with Asker. Asker got a little less special. No kidding. Like if you're looking at units that had their value go down, Asker. Like, no kidding. This is fantastic though. Obviously this is just for infantry allies, and Asker does all allies. And Asker is still a very valuable unit. Don't panic. But yeah, the thing he does, someone else does now. So, this is a good unit. I mean, AoE nuke, you know where this goes. Like, this isn't going to be good on ARD because most of the time you're going to be able to maneuver around it. I say that. To Omni tanks, it's going to be great, but a lot of them are red. I'm not a huge fan. Like, it's a good unit, and I would love to get the extra floret. You had to be blue. Why blue? Color sharing. I hate color sharing. Aired Euphoria. We got slaying. We've got effective against flying. If unit initiates combat orders within 2 spaces of an ally, grants Omni +5 to unit, grants attack speed +X to unit. X equals 25% of foe's attack at start of combat. So that's visible there. -8. So max of 10. You should be able to hit that pretty good. So you can probably consider that attack speed +15 and defense res +5. Neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldowns. We got half tempo on unit, and reduces damage from foes' first attack by 30% during combat, and also restores 7 HP to unit during combat. That last one, this is a decent nuke. This has a lot of the things you'd like in a unit. There are just so many really good nukes. Speed res Hexblade. Interesting. Not really what I would go after as far as Hexblade. I think attack speed was what Legendary Yuri had. At start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of a magic ally, grants Hexblade to unit. If bonus is active on unit, grants speed res +7 to unit during combat. There's something else that's really important about this. You notice they didn't bother explaining Hexblade. And I know they've been doing this, like they've been kind of peppering this in, but it is so hard to read these things when they have the dictionary right underneath this. So I love that they don't have that. That's fantastic. I hope they keep that up. I know they've done it before. I just want more of it. Physical null follow-up. Inflicts speed defense -4 on foe. Neutralizes effects that guarantee foe. You guys know what physical null follow-up is. Fantastic. It is a great skill that is really the bane of any Omni tank. It's absolutely incredible because it doesn't need a special proc. When you have a special proc, something like a special spiral, for instance, when you need that to get your damage reduction, there are ways around it. Think about Scowl. Like that's a big, easy way to get around that, as well as any kind of pulse smoke, any kind of all sorts of ways that you can kind of work your magic. This, if you're on defense or if you're trying to kill something on summoner duels, physical null follow-up is absolutely incredible at getting things done. Great skill. This unit's a decent nuke. I'm not going crazy, but I mean, yeah, he exists. Then we have Aspiring Knight. I don't know who this is. I was expecting the name right there. Fee. She's very cute though. So we've got a sword flyer with reposition. What is this fodder? This is, I mean, aerobatics. We've now got that in the standard pool. That's good. I do like that. That's great. I shouldn't be complaining about that. I don't know. Attack speed form 3. Attack speed ideal 3. There's so many things you could have added on to this unit, and why are they so stingy with some of these lower level fodders? Fantastic. The sword is okay at best. It's really not. Here's what you've been waiting for though, Plumeria, and this is ridiculous. I love that art. That just looks fierce. Rapturous Dream. All right. The ecstasy of the dream nectar will never fade from my memory. That is a line. I paused it too soon. There we go. Arcane Euphoria. You've seen this a couple times now. I've got a cheat sheet up real quick and we're going to throw it up here. Since they had this up early, I was able to do this. So it's got Slaying, Omni +5, guaranteed follow-up, true damage of 15% of the attack, and that's added on to the AoEs. It's kind of a theme here, right? They like AoEs on this banner. And 30% damage reduction equals 30% from first attack. This is really interesting. So, I mean, essentially they want to be able to take out a unit in 3 hits, I guess, if you include the AoE. So, yeah, I mean, it's not great. Like, this is not amazing. It's not my favorite arcane weapon. The good news is, I mean, that's really not what you're after here. And let's head back to this kit. Cloying Dreams. Dance grants Omni +5, charge, and foe penalty doubler to target ally for 1 turn and inflicts Omni -5 on nearest foes within 5 spaces of target ally through their next action. That's already a mouthful. That is huge. I cannot tell you. I have foe penalty doubler on Triandra on her ult, and it is nuts. I love that, and this is even nuttier. Charge? Like, they're just gonna start handing out charge all over the place, huh? Stillwater 4, whatever. Wings of Mercy 4 on a rearmed unit. Yes, I just bring this on. I want to give this to so many units, and now's your chance. We're not done. Defense Res Ploy 3. At start of player phase or enemy phase, if any foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit have res less than unit's res, inflicts defense res -7, ploy, and exposure on those foes through their next action. So you know all of this stuff except for ploy. This is new. Exposure is very good, by the way, and I'm a big fan there. Ploy. neutralizes bonus doubler, treachery, and grand strategy effects active on unit during combat through unit's next action. There are 2 units that are just crumbling right now, 2 archetypes, and that raid bosses with bonus doubler are hurting. This is huge, such a big deal. Grand strategy. Legendary Robin finally gets a counter, and here we have it. Defense Res Ploy 3. This is... I can't decide if this is too heavy-handed or not. It is only 3 rows and 3 columns. There are ways around this, and it's not a sure thing, but man, that seems like a kick in the pants to anyone who is invested into Unity stacking. What can I say? This is probably the highlight of the entire banner, is this Defense Res Ploy 3. This is a nutty skill in both Aether-Aid's defense and on summoner duels. Like, you are going to see this all over the place. We have SDS next week, and I would expect to see this. This is a very, very good skill. What can I say? Now again, it's not going to completely wipe away Unity stacking, because 3 rows and 3 columns is not that big. But the fact that this is a rearmed unit means you're going to see a lot of this kind of thing spread out. What can I say? I really, really love that. This is a great dancer, and Defense Res Ploy is kind of amazing. That's all I got. We've got the Blue Moon, the big attack, which, as you know, on defense is always tough to have a dancer that focuses on attack, because they're easily baited. So, good times. Summoners, what do we have here? Let us look at stats quick. We have color sharing, which I hate. I'll put this up later so you guys can get it, can really look at it. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but color sharing is just tough. It always feels like you get the wrong unit. It always feels bad. Technically, you get more 5 stars, so that's good. Like that part's excellent. What do we do? Let's get over to the tier list. Ranged nukes. It's so hard. I know this unit does AoEs really well, and there are going to be lots of people who find great uses for him.
But I'm begging you.
But look at all these folks above him. I mean, it's just tough for me to place him. Like, I've got him above Crom. I think he does more damage than Crom, even though Crom has effective damage and a lot of other stuff. I like him better. I have trouble putting him above Elise, just because Elise has some really neat things like Razzle Dazzle about her, even though NCD's going crazy. And I really love AoE Lind, and I think she's fantastic, and I would rather have her than Sed. That being said, Sed is Sed is a good nuke. We just got so many amazing nukes. Like, there's no way he's going to compete with that meta tier. Like, he's not touching that. Still, I mean, good unit, and if you want to be able to do something with him, you probably can. Like, you can't probably, you definitely will be able to. Oh, I just... Should we talk about the archer whose name that I have just completely forgotten? I apologize, guys. I mean, what can I say? Fabale he's there. That might even be a little high for him. Well, no, that's not. There's a lot of good things about Fabale. Like, I like Fabale, but still. Look at those other units. I mean, we just went over it. Like, those are fantastic nukes, and I can't put him above Crom or Asker. Asker, particularly with Ignis, just absolutely blasts things. As far as Fee, maybe I'm just in a bad mood about this unit. She should probably be at the bottom of tier 1, but I just didn't feel like it. She just got such crap fodder. Still, melee. Melee flyers have a lot of good things about them. I mean, we just talked about it, and yeah. She's not bad, but definitely nothing to write home about. She's not changing the world. She doesn't have a preference weapon, so it's kind of hard to. As far as supports goes, now this is probably going to be controversial. I've got Plumeria in tier 2, and that doesn't mean she's bad. Like, I really like both Guinevere and Lind. But look at the units above her and tell me she goes over them. Like, I can't. The thing is, in a dancer, you want them to be mythic. That's it. And in Summoner Duels, dancers are very out of vogue right now because they take longer to set up. Like, a unit has to move, you have to dance them, then they move again. As opposed to, say, to change fate, you swap them into place, and the change fate unit, Crom, gets to move immediately again if you need, or the unit ahead of him also gets to move. You can't replace that with a dancer. It's not the same. Unless maybe your name's Ninian, but that's only on turn 2. So, yeah, this is a great dancer. The other problem is if she's not a mythic, then it's hard to find a spot for her. Defenses are very demanding right now, and it's just really difficult to stomach putting her in the place of another nuke. I mean, would you put her in the place of Asker? No, I don't see that. Yeah, so I've got her in tier 2. I still think she's really good. I think she's a very good dancer, but dancers themselves have lost a lot of value. This whole idea where supports age better than other types of units is just flat wrong. They do not. Unique units age better than any other type of unit, and that's it. Where this came from is an old thing where they weren't releasing supports very often, and so all supports were unique. Anyway, that's my little soapbox there. I mean, look at Spring Triandra. She just got power crept hard. She hasn't been out that long. Moving on. The real thing you want to look at is the fodder, and I think the fodder potential for her is just sky high. Defense Res Ploy 4 and Wings 4 is fantastic already, and there are so many other fun things you can put on her being a flyer. Like, you've got all the guidances, which I still think are uber powerful, and for some reason they just refuse to nerf at all. Like, I think this is the second best fodder rearmed unit in the game. Like, I've still got Tana above her because maybe I should revisit that just because attack res unity kind of took a hit here. But I've still got Tana above her just because guidance 4 is so powerful. But that's amazing. I want to do one other thing since we did get this tome beforehand. I just wanted to go over some builds. Understand, and we've talked about this so much. So remember that when you're looking at arcane units to inherit things to, the thing is stats. They don't get preference skills at all. All you've got are stats. And so to look at who uses this best, you go into the Arctic Silver Fox unit chart, you sort by attack, and that's who are the best users of this. That's it. Like, there's really nothing special about this. As far as builds for your favorites and who you want to use this, I've got a few examples here, and these are kind of archetypes at the top of their at their tier that you can really look at. Soren, who came out not too long ago, this is the AoE build on him, and I think this is really good on AoE builds because, I mean, yeah, of course it is, right? But anyway, where were we? I was waxing on about AoE builds. So we've got times pulse 4 and every other thing in order to get that AoE out. 83 attack with just a +1 and a +6 Omni across the board. Like, this unit is going to hit hard, and I think this is probably one of the best ways to do it because there are so many ways to get your cooldown down on infantry units. As far as flyers go, I have S tier, and I've got the standard like Unity build. I can't believe I didn't put guidance on this unit. I should probably be smacked for that, but I was trying to maximize attack potential. I probably should have put soaring guidance or something there, but you'll have to excuse that. Still, you can stack a lot of speed on this unit, and desperation is the big thing you should be looking at there. And that's, if you get desperation on this unit, like, you're going to be able to hit hard, got a lot of extra stuff going with 2 attacks. Last up, we have a Cav build, and this just fits Beach Tharja so well. Flared Sparrow I think is neat. It's kind of a wash if you look at just pure damage on life and death versus this, especially because the weapon gives you gives you true damage. But Flared Sparrow is so neat. Like, there are a lot of fun things you can do with that, and so I kind of envision this as a running in and using this unit to just smash defenses and then running away. So there's your hit and run unit for the team here. But you can see kind of where we're going, right? You really want to prioritize attack because this is all about hitting hard. And then you've got the guaranteed follow-up as well. What I wanted to look at just real quickly, though, is builds that are kind of off the beaten path. And understand that this is sometimes a side grade to what these units already do. I'm not telling you to go off and build this immediately, but take Thor, for instance. And Thor right now is hurting in the realm of damage output. And this outputs more damage. That's the thing. The other thing about duo heroes is that you can still use their duo skill. So the things that still keep Thor and Mark special, that support related duo skill, still exist. So, I mean, like I said, I really prefer this with AoEs, and I think this is fantastic on her. And would I build this? I probably can't afford this, to be completely honest. But I still think this would be kind of fun and something you could use in Summoner Duels if you have some other kind of support. Just understand that in both cases, you're giving up both stall, and in Thor's case, you're also giving up exposure. I like it a little better on Mark, and I guess it's kind of funny. I put this together before Defense Res Ploy, and sometimes his Omni -5 to all units, or to units within a certain amount of spaces, can kind of come back to bite you in the world of Unity. Of course, you've got Defense Res Ploy now, so maybe that isn't the case. But this is another kind of side grade where you can take a unit that you use all the time and just have another way to use them. And of course, dancers always have a special thing in that they can dance no matter what you give them. And so this is just absolutely bonkers Renea. So, I mean, having a dancer that can also hit hard is fun. That's really all this unit, though. This build here is just for fun. But summoners, I hope all is going well. I hope you see the fodder you like, even if the units didn't turn out amazing. Thank you to all the members. You guys are incredible. I just put out a meta report if you want to go check that out and look at what's going on and what in the world you're going to do with all of these crazy skills. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHology just real soon.